Hey, I heard you want to start doing stand up comedy. Well, boy, oh boy, am I excited to help you do that. I'm Aaron, I'm a comedian, and I like helping people get better at comedy. And please enjoy this if you want. You don't have to, it doesn't matter. It's just YouTube, it's not anything important. It's just the culmination of my entire career. The first thing you're going to want to do is get a pen and a notebook so you can write stuff down and also look like you know how to read and write. That's important. That'll take you really far in stand-up comedy. So I've got an example here, a little twofer, tiny notebook, regular pen. Any notebook works, any pen works. I prefer Sharpie pens. They write smooth. And notebooks from like Walgreens. I don't know why. They're not too small. They're not too big. They're medium size. They can't fit in my pocket, but I can throw it really far at somebody stealing my pen from me. So get that. Get both those. Get some shit to write stuff with. So after you have a notebook and a pen, you've just graduated kindergarten. Congratulations. So next, what you need to consider doing is start thinking about stuff a little bit differently. Chances are you've already done that because you want to do this, you want to pursue this, or just do it for fun, whatever, doesn't matter. But you're going to want to observe things around you, nature, people. If you live in a city, that's pretty easy to do. If you live out in nature, I live out in the middle of nowhere, so I have to watch birds all the time. And boy, do I have a lot of jokes about that that I'm pretty excited to talk about. Also, some jokes about trees. A lot of tree jokes, a lot of bird jokes. You are what your environment is. That's it. So start jotting some stuff down. You don't have to use a pen and a paper. You can write it down in your phone. I just like being pretentious. It makes me feel good. You do the things that make you want to keep doing the things that you're doing. So consider that. Write stuff down and try to make it funny. After you've written some stuff down that you think is kind of funny, sit with it for a while. Watch other comedians. Usually when new comedians start, they'll emulate their favorite comedians. For me, it was Stephen Wright and Mitch Hedberg. I love short one-liners and jokes like that. So and that's kind of an easy one to start with too. One-liners are hard to write, for good ones at least, but you can write a bunch of bad one-liners, and that's okay. That leads me to the next thing, actually. Just write as many bad jokes as possible. Get it out of your system. Just start going at it. Dump your brain onto that page. When I first started out, I would bring a little notebook with me, like the one I showed you before, and a pen everywhere. I'd take it to work, wherever, I'd have it on me at all times. Just in case I had something I wanted to write down, a funny thought, whatever. You don't have to do that. If you keep doing this, you're gonna eventually think of something, while you're driving or something, and it's not really safe to write down anything or use your phone. Or you're just going to say, oh, I'll remember that in the morning or something. And then you'll never remember it. It never comes back. And then you sit with that the rest of your life wondering, man, what if that joke was the one that could have gotten me on Conan? And it probably was, Aaron. It probably was. So next time, write it down, you stupid asshole. Something to also consider when you're writing stuff down, don't worry if you find yourself having parallel thoughts to other comedians. There's a bug floating around me. I think I'm going to eat it like an iguana. Don't worry about if you write a joke that's similar to or exactly the same as another comedian's. I did that a lot. I've done it a lot, like Demetri Martin. I've written a lot of similar jokes to him, and I just don't use them. Once I realize I stop using them. Once I realize it's somebody else's joke. I think that's the best way to go about it. Or you can just double down and say it's your joke and act ignorant your entire career. And everyone's going to love that. So write your own jokes. So after you've done all of this stuff, you've got a notebook, a pen, you've written down, I don't know, maybe 10 jokes, 10 joke ideas. That's kind of what I did initially, 10 joke ideas. You're going to want to Google open mic in your area, comedy open mic, preferably. There's always something around you. Sometimes it's a music open mic, but if you go there and ask them real nice and say, hey, I'm a comedian, can I just do 5 minutes of stand up? More often than not, they'll let you do it. They're pretty cool. Musicians are cool. I think every comedian should become a musician instead. So that's for that. I can't play anything. I wish I could. But yeah, where was I at? Sorry, I've got loose notes. I don't have most of this. Just kind of pops out of my head because I've been around it so much. But yeah. So after you've Googled the open mic, figure out where it is. Right? Pretty easy. Most cities have multiple clubs. Sometimes it's kind of further away. Like I said before, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I have to drive about 25 minutes to do most mics in the nearest city to me, which isn't bad. I'm okay with that. It's whatever. I'd prefer not to drive, honestly, but big deal. If it's something you want to do bad enough, you'll do it. And you don't have to do this. This is something I did, and I've heard other comedians have done it. Go to an open mic and just sit and watch it. Kind of get an idea of what they're doing and how you can do your set. By then you will probably have written like a set out. Don't worry about like set structure, blah blah blah. Just fill the time. And if you don't fill the time, it's not a big deal because it's just an open mic. Nobody's, going to be upset if you do 3 minutes instead of 4 or 5, whatever. Who cares? But don't go over your time either. Stick to the time. For some reason, a lot of comedy open mic hosts don't mention this because I think they just assume all the comics know. Most of the time at an open mic, you will get the light at 1 minute, and that means you have 1 minute left. So if it's a 5 minute mic, you'll get lit at 4 minutes. Understand that. You don't want to be the one that goes over their time. I do it all the time accidentally now. I've become very brazen with what I'm doing, but don't be like me, except with all the other stuff I'm telling you to do or suggesting. So now that you know where to go and you've gone to an open mic, you've scouted the area, you've written out your set, blah blah blah, go over your set. When I first did my first open mic, I would go to the gym at my apartment complex and just read my set over and over and try to memorize each one. Each joke was its own word written down just to make it a little bit easier. So I had a joke about my sister. So the joke was just called Sister. That's the easiest way I've known to do it. I've been doing it like that ever since. Each, joke that I have has its own word. I have multiple jokes with the same word, but then if that happens, I'll just put a 2 over it or something like that. So I know it's both jokes. That's easy. It's just, whatever works best for you. And that's what's worked best for me. I need to, I want to be clear. Not everything I say is foolproof, 100% objective. Every comedian has their own path, their own story, their own everything. And it's not going to be the same, as another comedian ever. It just doesn't. There's so many different paths to take in this industry and art in general. These, what I'm telling you, are just helpful suggestions, basically, and like guidance. None of this is guaranteed. I'm not like rich and famous off of this. I've had a fun, nice career, but I'm not doing Madison Square Garden anytime soon. So, if you want to take advice from a more famous comedian, then watch their podcast or something. I don't know. Dusty Slay has a really good series about being on the road. I like that. And I was on his podcast with his wife like 4 or 5 years ago. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. I think Bill Burr has got stuff about stand-up. All these guys have stuff about stand-up. You have an endless amount of resources. I'm just one of them. So, don't get mad if you eat shit forever. If you suck. I can't make you funny. It's kind of like being an athlete and your greatest trait is your speed. You can't teach speed. I can't teach funny, but I can, coddle you through failure. So now you're ready to do your first open mic. Wow, this is huge. Big moment. This is what it's all come to. Have fun. Don't worry about it too much. It's going to be nerve-wracking. You're probably not going to be very good, and that's fine. Don't have any expectations. Just try to get through it. It's seriously very difficult. It's so hard. I had a 3-minute set, my first set, down at Laughs Cafe in Tucson, Arizona. 3-minute set, sweating as much as I've ever sweat. Had jeans on and a button-up shirt in the desert. Pretty smart for a white guy. And after 3 jokes, I had to go back to my notes, and I took a little piece of paper out of my pocket and looked at the rest of the jokes. Big deal. Who cares? You know what? I kept doing it. It was fun. It was cool. If you don't like it, don't do it anymore. Nobody's making you do this. That's the cool thing about art. Nobody gives a shit if you keep doing it or if you don't. If you want to keep doing it, keep doing it. It's cool. Comedy's fun. It's also fun not to do it. Some of my best, favorite times in my life have been not doing comedy. So, it's not for everybody, but I hope you had fun. Now you get to hang out with all the other open mic comics. And a lot of these people are going to end up being your friends for the rest of your life, or at least the next 15 years if you keep at it. So be cool, be a good hang. That's most of comedy, is being a cool, good person. Don't be a piece of shit. We already have enough of those down in Austin and other places. Not everybody in Austin's a piece of shit, but you know who I'm talking about. The Chodes. Don't be a piece of shit. Punch up. Have fun. Thanks for watching this. I haven't gotten a good sign off yet, but anyway, I'm Aaron. We're happy to have you.